My name is Lacey Sear. Today I'm going to be teaching a kindergarten science lesson. The standard I chose was analyzing data to determine if a design solution works as intended to change the speed or direction of an object with a push or a pull. Good evening, good morning, boys and girls. How are you guys? Good. Good. How's your day going so far? Good. Good. So today we're going to focus on the pushing and the pulling of an object or something towards myself or yourself. So to push something means that you're going to move something away from your body. So here I'm pushing the car away from my body. So the pull means you're moving it towards your body. So if you move it like this, you pull it towards your body. Can you give me an example of if you were pushing something away from your body? You push it.
Like I push someone in a swing.
Push it away from your body. Good. And what about pulling? You think about pulling it something towards yourself or pulling something that's on the ground upwards maybe. So even like picking something up is kind of pulling. Think of anything?
I find it when I pick a flower and I gotta pull the flower.
Pull it up. Okay, good. So today we're going to read Newton and Me by Lynn Mayer. And we are going to try and focus on the pushes and the pulls that we see happening in the book. So make sure you pay attention because I'm going to see if you guys notice anything at the end of the book. Okay? So this is called Newton and Me. And Newton is the dog. Saturday morning, I was asleep in my bed with Newton, my dog, when Newton, my dog, dropped his ball on my head. I pulled on my blue jeans, t-shirt, and shoes and ate a quick breakfast while Dad read the news. Then Newton and I ran out the back door. We had the whole day to play and explore. So he pulled on his blue jeans. Make sure you're paying attention as we go along. I rolled Newton's ball to him along the ground. As we played with the ball, here's what we found. The ball won't roll far in the rough, grassy yard. It rolls much farther on a surface that's smooth and hard. But it won't roll at all if I don't give it a push. When I pushed too hard, it rolled as far as the bush. So he pushed the ball and made it roll. I decided to throw the ball up in the sky. I threw the ball hard. It went really high. No matter how hard I would throw the ball up, it would always come back down to me and my pup. So he's pushing the ball up into the sky. This gave me an idea I wanted to test. I took out my red truck that I like the best. I put down the truck on the ground that was flat until I would push my truck stay there where it sat. So he's going to push his truck. Going downhill, my truck really speeds. It went off the sidewalk and up into the weeds. When I pushed my toy truck, it went really far, but even my big push wouldn't move my dad's car. So when he pushed his toy truck, he was strong enough to move it. When he went to go push his dad's car, he was not strong enough to move it. So it depends on the object and how much it weighs to see if you can move it even when you're pushing it. Does that make sense? Are there any questions so far? Okay. I heard my mom calling for Newton and Me. She wanted some rocks from a pile by the tree. We pulled my red wagon to the tree at a run. Newton and I knew this job would be fun. I filled up my wagon with piles of stone, but with all the rocks, I couldn't pull it alone. He's pulling the red wagon, but it's too heavy, so he couldn't pull it by himself. When it was empty, it was easy to pull. I just couldn't move it when it was full. Newton and I got some help from my dad. He pushed while I pulled. He made my mom glad. So he's pushing the wagon, and Dad is pushing the wagon, and the boy is pulling it. Then Newton and I decided to go for a ride. I hopped on my bike with my dog by my side. The wind was blowing quite hard that day. The wind at my back pushed me on my way. But when I turned around to go home, at last, the wind pushed against my chest and I couldn't go as fast. Pedaling uphill was really hard too. Getting to the top took all I could do. But going downhill, I needed to slow down. I did that by dragging my feet on the ground. When we got home, we played tug of war. I pulled, Newton pulled, and then I pulled some more. When he pulled as hard as I did, we didn't move at all. But when he pulled harder, I'd step forward or fall. So they're they're both pulling, the dog and the boy are pulling. But when they're pulling at the same strength, or as hard as each other both are, they don't move. But if the dog pulls harder, the boy moves, but the boy pulls harder, the dog will move. I realized at the end of the day that I learned some new things along the way. Playing with Newton gave me the notion that pushing and pulling are forces of motion. The end. So what did you notice about the book? Was there a lot of pushes and a lot of pulls in the book?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back through, and can you remember anything that happened here? What did he do here? He pulled on his what? Remember?
His pants.
He pulled on his blue jeans. Good. So here he pulled on his blue jeans. Can you think of anything else that happened in the book?
He played with the ball, and he was throwing it in the air, so he was pushing it.
Pushing it. And he was rolling it on the ground, so did he pull the ball towards himself, or did he have to push the ball away from himself to make it go?
Push.
Push. Good. So when he had his toy car, did he push the car or pull the car? He was moving it in front of himself. Did he push it like this or pull it backwards?
Forward. Push.
Forward. He was pushing it forward. And could he move his dad's car by pushing it?
No, it was too heavy.
Okay. And was he pushing or pulling the wagon? Do you remember? If he's got the wagon with rocks, is he pulling it, trying to get it to come along with him, or is he pushing it?
No, he was pulling.
He was pulling, yes. And was his dad helping him by pushing it behind him to make it go?
Yes.
Yes. The wind was pushing him down the hill here.
Yeah.
And what was happening here? The dog and him were they both pushing on the rope, or were they pulling on the rope?
They were playing tug of war, and they were pulling.
They were pulling, good. And that is the end of the book. So today we're going to focus on just pushing, the pushing of one object against another object. We're not going to focus on pulling, just pushing. So we're going to talk about whether when this object moves, will it push and make another object fall. So this is the paper we're going to be doing, and you'll put your name at the top, and we're going to talk about your predictions. It's called, will this stop the car? So to predict means that you're going to take a guess. So we're going to predict whether the folded paper will move when the car hits it, a block, a pencil, glue, and a book. And you're going to circle yes or no. Then we see what happens. You're going to say what happened. So you'll say yes or no what actually happened. Okay? So first you're going to predict what happened when the car goes into a folded piece of paper after you write your name at the top. So you're going to say whether or not you think that the car, when it pushes into the paper, will it move it? What do you think? Yes or no? And you'll circle it right there. What did you say?
Yes.
Yes. And why did you say yes?
The paper's pretty light.
Okay. Let's see what happens when it goes into it. Did it move it?
Yep.
Yes, it did. Good. So circle yes. So now we're going to do the book. Do you think that when the car pushes into the book, it will move it? Yes or no? And you'll circle your prediction down there. And what did you predict?
No.
No. And why did you say no?
I think the book's heavy.
I think the book's heavy. Okay, let's see what happens. Did it move?
Yeah.
Yes, it did. So circle yes. So let's see what happens when we have a heavier book. We'll see if it moves. So we're going to do this heavy book. And we're going to see whether it moves the book. Did it move the book? No. So just like when we were talking about earlier with the cars, if something is heavier and whatever the object is that it's pushing is not as strong, it won't move it. So he was able to move his toy car, but not his dad's big car. So now we're going to do the block. So do you think the car will push into the block and move it? Yes or no? And what did you say?
Yes.
Yes. Why did you say yes?
I don't think the block's very heavy. I think it can move it.
Okay, let's see. Did it move it?
Yes.
Yes. Good. Circle yes. Okay, then you can flip your paper over to the back, and we'll do the glue first. Do you think it will move the glue stick? Yes or no? What'd you say?
No.
Why do you say no?
I think the glue stick is heavier than the truck.
Let's see what happens.
Oh,
And did it move?
yes.
Yes, and there I didn't even push it as fast because I didn't want to try and knock a car off the table, but I did, and it still knocked it over. Okay, and last we're going to do the pencil. Do you think the glue stick will move the pencil, yes or no? What'd you say?
Yes.
Yes, why do you think that?
I think the pencil will roll because of its shape. I think it'll roll.
Okay, well, let's test it. And did it move it?
Yep.
Yes. And the pencil's really light as well.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we're going to talk about pulling of objects against each other more so. So like when I pull something quicker or slower towards myself, that's what we'll focus tomorrow. For now, you can go ahead and get out your Chromebook, and we're going to take a quick Kahoot quiz over our vocabulary words. You did a great job today. You can just put that away. I don't need to keep it or anything. Thank you.